Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today, thanks to Kovacs Gaming, we're going to be taking a look to see if we can beat the game Pokemon Emerald with a single Relicanth. Relicanth is a single stage Pokemon with a good typing, being both rock and water. On the physical side of things, it's great, can't find better. But if you look at the special side and the speed stats, they're pretty bad. The level up moveset isn't the worst I've seen, though I can tell you accuracy is gonna be a problem for us for quite some time throughout the game. Because you know what they say, if it isn't 100% accurate, it is 5% accurate. We're gonna go ahead and give the rival Trico, because out of all of them, that's gonna be the hardest for us to fight. 4 times weaknesses, good lord, what have I signed up for? In Pokemon Fire Red, this Pokemon was able to clear the game pretty easily, especially given the fact that the final person that you fight, or one of the final people I should say, has Dragonites. But let's see if it does just as well in this particular game. The beginning of the game with both the Poochyena fight and the following May fight shortly after are both pretty easy, given our partial rock typing and the fact that they know nothing but your standard normal moves. There's nothing that they can really do. In the future? Well, we'll see. Honestly, as we're going through the beginning of the game, I'm not 100% sure that we'll be able to beat this, especially if we're not at level 100, and that may not save me from the Secret Steven fight at the end. After beating May, we finally remember to check our nature, which is gentle, boosting our special defense and lowering our physical defense. Overall, nature-wise, that's not the worst. Since our natural defense is already pretty tanky, allowing one of our lower stats the ability to catch up a little bit isn't the worst thing in the world. We have the ability Rockhead, which prevents recoil damage. That could probably be pretty useful as we get access to Takedown. The only issue is going to be the accuracy. But for right now, let's go ahead, let's get through the beginning of the game, and I'm going to be honest, it is rough. Any stray grass type that we typically run across has Absorb, and given the fact that we're 4 times weak to that, we're just going to have to avoid those trainers. Along the way to the first gym, we get Wally his first Pokemon. We also face off against a Team Aqua Grunt from a man that literally should have adult supervision at all times. For the most part, if you've watched these videos before, I typically only cover the leader of the group fights because there's a good amount of the grunts that you have to fight, and then there's the admins who really aren't too much of a challenge either. But without further ado, let's go ahead and see how we do against the first gym leader. The Geodude is up first and we use Water Gun, taking it out in one shot. Next up, we have another Geodude and we can take it out in one shot. Finally, she sends out Nose Pass and we use Water Gun for okay enough damage as it uses Harden. Thankfully, that won't stop us as we take it below half. Rock Tomb connects for a pretty strong crit and lowers our already horrid speed. And the berry activates. We do Water Gun again, and for whatever reason, Nose Pass uses Block, letting us take it to yellow. Now, Roxanne does have potions, so she heals up and we continue with our onslaught best we can. We take it to red with a crit, she heals up again, and then after a few more attacks, we can go ahead to take it out to win the badge. We do the Devon Goods quest, getting those goods back, and then there is the option to fight May. We do try that May fight, and we can take down the Wingull, but then there's the Trico, who by now is able to pretty easily two-shot us. Unfortunately, without the level up, I don't think that's going to be a battle that we're going to be able to win right now. I don't want to level up too early in the game using rare candies, so since this is an optional fight, we'll go ahead and skip it for now. So, since we can head to Dewford, we set sail for there, and we blindly navigate the cave to give Steven his letter, and then fight through the trainers in Brawly's gym. Brawly first starts off with Machop, and we open with Water Gun, doing about 1/4 of damage as he uses Bulk Up. We take it to half as Karate Chop crits us to 11 HP. We can take it to red, and then we get knocked out. Okay, maybe we won't be taking on Brawly just yet. Now, thankfully, the game isn't completely locked if you can't beat the second gym for whatever reason. So, we travel out to Slateport to do a little more game stuff, and then go to see how one of the harder May fights goes for us. May starts off with Wingull, and Water Gun doesn't do much, and we take it down with Rock Tomb. Grovyle is out, and we get hit hard with Absorb, as we respond with Rock Tomb, lowering its speed and taking it to yellow. Absorb hits again, taking us to 3 HP, And we hit it with Rock Tomb again, taking it to red and lowering its speed again. Now we can actually outspeed and take it out with a slightly more accurate tackle. We level up, and the last is Slugma, who we outspeed because, obviously. We use Water Gun to take it to red, and for some reason it uses Yawn, but we can take it out before we start snoozing. This took me 6 attempts. Since we can get to Mauville City, we can teach Wally a lesson. Relicanth is the only Pokemon that should be doing a solo run right now. But let's go ahead and see how we do against Watson. Watson starts with Voltorb, and we get hit with Shockwave, taking it out with a critical hit Rock Tomb. Electrike is next, and we continue with Rock Tomb, taking it to yellow, and it uses Howl to raise its attack, and then we swap to Water Gun, taking it out. Manectric is up next, and we swap back to Rock Tomb, but Shockwave takes us to 5 HP, and we're not even doing half, so even though we connect with our next attack, we get taken out. So, with that in mind, we go north, south, east, west, north, literally any direction that we can, challenging the different trainers, so we can head back and see if at least Brawly goes any different. If we can't beat Brawly at this point, I'm kind of running out of trainers to fight, so we would actually have to level up at this point. But let's see what happens. Machop does finally go down to 2 Water Guns, though he does get a good hit in. Meditite just keeps trying to use Focus Punch, so we can actually take it down without getting any damage dealt to us. Then, with the Makuhita, for whatever reason, it just keeps using Bulk Up over and over, so we're just able to take it down with a few Water Guns. Had the fights previously gone like this, I wouldn't have had to do the amount of travel, but at least that's finally 2 badges down. Back to Watson, and would you know, it still goes horribly. We have to go all the way to level 40 to even stand a chance, and for the first time and probably ever in doing these runs, we actually use the move Mud Sport to lower his attacking power a bit. After that, we can take down his first 2 Pokemon with a takedown each, though we don't have to worry about the recoil damage due to our ability. With the Manectric, we use Rock Tomb to lower its speed as it hits for solid damage, and then take down to take it out. With the Magneton, we just spam Rock Tomb and hope for the best as the berry activates to give it a little bit of health, and then we can take it down to finally win this badge. Alright, with that finally out of the way, we have a bunch of travel ahead, and a maxi fight and an active volcano. Now, I will say that the travel is a lot quicker, given the fact that I've already wiped out a majority of the trainers. But let's see how the maxi fight goes. Maxi first starts with Bitina, and we use Takedown, taking it to not quite half, as Bite does decent damage, and then we take it out. Next up is Camerupt, and we use Water Gun, taking it out in one go. And we can finally learn a 100% accurate move and learn Ancient Power, and we take Zubat out in a few Water Guns. Alright, let's go fight Flannery, the first time I felt confident in any gym battle since Roxanne. We take down Numa with an Ancient Power, and the next up is Slugma, taking it out in a not needed critical hit Ancient Power. Camerupt is next, and we continue with Ancient Power, taking it to red. Its tackle does just a little bit of damage. Flannery heals up, and we take it back to almost red, but we get the Omni Boost. We swap to Water Gun and take it out. Then, her last Pokemon is Torkoal, and we use Ancient Power, taking it out in one go, winning a fairly easy battle. Thank goodness, because I was getting very tired of losing repeatedly. Now that we've had the level up and we have no distinct disadvantages for a little bit, I think we'll actually be doing pretty alright for the next bit of the game. I think that May, despite the usual trash talk I deal her, will likely be a problem in this particular run though, but we have a Norman fight to deal with before we can even get to her, so let's see how that all goes. And for the record, I don't trash talk May because she's a bad trainer, at least not in this. I can't speak for the anime. I trash talk her because in every single game we get to fight the final evolved form of your rival's Pokemon, and yet for some reason in this gen, it stops at the second form, and that's just, it's not as fun. Norman first sends out Spinda, and we use Ancient Power, taking it down in one go. Slacking is next, and we have Mudsport to wait out the attacking turns, so we use Ancient Power on the loafing turns, and then Mudsport on the attack turns, and we actually do get an Omni Boost about halfway through, and we can take it out not long after. Vigoroth is next, so we swap over to Water Gun, taking it below half, as Feint Attack does little, and we can take it down. Linoon is his last mon, and we take it to half, so it can't use Belly Drum, and then we can take it down to win the badge. Now that we're officially, probably, about halfway through the game, I want to talk a little bit about Relicanth while we travel. The beginning of the game was rough, mostly due to having A, low power moves, and B, moves that were more powerful, which was great, but they weren't 100% accurate. Now that we have Ancient Power and we can get Return whenever we want it, which will likely be needed, I think the game will be a lot easier going forward. However, I do think that we'll end up eventually needing it. I typically write the script as I go along, so even I don't know what's going to happen next. As I write this, I'm actually watching Home Alone 2 in the Discord. Anyway, we have a lot of game to go, so let's take a look and see what the next set of battles ends up holding for us. Now that we have the fully accurate move, and it's actually a pretty powerful one, and it has the chance to make the rest of our moves a bit more powerful, I think that we'll be okay. Combine that with the fact that we did have to level up so much at the beginning, and we should be good. As we get to the Weather Institute, again, due to the Watson fight, we're pretty well over leveled by now. Even the admin battle is pretty easy compared to what's been in the past for us. The Carvana goes down easy, and then the Mightyena goes to red, uses Swagger, then goes down shortly after that. So now, let's go ahead and focus on the more important thing, which is the final time that we really have to fight May, unless we choose to do the optional fight. May first sends out Slugma, and we use Ancient Power, taking it down in a single shot. After that, it's Grovile, and we can use Ancient Power, taking it out as well. Finally, it's out to Lombre, and we can use Ancient Power to take it down as well. I just want to say, because I do say this anytime that I play this game, if there's a ROM hack that gives the rival a fully evolved team, or even just randomly, I don't even care if it's the most random place that puts them later in the game to battle, let me know. For the most part, the rival is pretty easy to take down, though admittedly, the beginning battles were a lot scarier. Alright, time for Winona's gym, and given the fact that we have the extra rock typing, I think we'll be fine, but we've all seen how terrifying that Altaria can be after a few Dragon Dances get thrown up. For Winona, she starts out with Swablu, and it truthfully isn't an issue, and it goes down to a single Ancient Power. Next out is Tropius, and it also goes down to a single Ancient Power. Altaria's next, and actually goes down in one go. Skarmory is taking a not even half and uses Sand Attack, and we use Surf, taking it out, with the Pelipper. Good lord, the Pelipper. Between the Sand Attack, the Supersonics, the Protects, the Misses Due to Sand Attack, this actually takes a good 5 minutes to finish off. Just be thankful that I'm able to play this at a quicker speed. I was getting heated during this battle, but it was a first try victory, so I can't complain too much. So, now we have some more travel to do, and also some more Aqua and Magma nonsense to take care of. Now, for the purposes of this, we will go ahead and cover this Maxi fight, and he starts with Mightyena, and we use Ancient Power as it uses Scary Face. It uses Takedown for a little damage, and we swap over to Surf, taking it out. Camerupt is next, and it uses Amnesia, and we can take it down with Surf. Last up is Crobat, and it uses Confuse Ray. We use Surf, taking it to around half as Maxi potions up. Maxi does end up stalling this for a couple of turns, but we do take it back to yellow. It confuses us, and we smack ourselves. But next turn, we can go ahead and take it out for a pretty simple victory. Now, with that out of the way, we're able to go ahead and return to our Gym Badge challenge, and that means Tate and Liza. Now, I will be 100% honest here, it is incredibly difficult for me, I don't know why, to cover double battles, so I'm gonna try to just keep this as simple and streamlined as I can. Against the Xatu, we open up with Ancient Power as they focus on taking out our Kadabra, who's only using Teleport. This way it doesn't actually affect the outcome of the battle, and we do take it out. After that, we use Ancient Power on Solrock and get the boost, so we're actually tanking the Earthquakes a lot better than before. After that, we swap to Surf and basically just spam that as we tank the hits coming in until we're able to take the victory. These double battles, like I said, are always kind of a pain to cover, so having an option to just be able to take down both of the enemies at the same time is honestly a welcome change. This did take me about a dozen attempts because it turns out I did need the boost because Earthquake was just doing far too much damage beforehand. Now we have one more main bad guy battle with Archie to cover, and then I think after that we're basically good to go. Mightyna's first, and we open with Ancient Power, taking it to not quite half as they use the Scary Face. Archie heals up, and we use Ancient Power, getting the Omni Boost, and the cherry on top is that it uses Swagger to boost our attack further. Though we are confused and we smack ourselves. Takedown does very little, and we snap out of confusion and use Ancient Power, getting another boost. After that, Crobat is out, and we use Ancient Power, taking it down in one go. Sharpedo is his last mon, and it uses Swagger to, I'm pretty sure, have our attack maxed out at this point, and we smack ourselves again. Slash does a little, we snap out of confusion, and we take it down in one shot. I'm gonna do the math here real quick. If I remember right, Intimidate lowers attack 2 stages. There were 2 Swaggers, which is evening it out up 2 stages, and then our Omni Boost was just 1 stage, so we were halfway to max, which is still really stupid powerful. But it's time for us to save the world, and once all that world-saving silliness is done and out of the way, we can move on to the last leg of the game. Now that we're getting closer, I'm feeling pretty alright about the Steven Stone fight. I'm not 100% sure if it'll be impossible, because he does have a very tanky team, and one with a boatload of resistances, but I still think we might be able to at level 100. But there is still a little bit of a gameplay that we have to finish before we even worry about that. Let's go ahead, let's take a look and see how we do against Juan, the last of the 8 gym leaders. Love Disc is first, and we take it to red as it uses Attract, and he heals up, and next turn we take it to red, then take it down. Whiscash is next, and we use Ancient Power, taking a small bit of damage, and then 2 takedowns later, it goes down. Then the Celio goes down to a single Ancient Power, and we actually get the boost from it. Crawdon is out next, and Ancient Power takes it to yellow, and Crabhammer hits hard. And then Crawdon gets healed, and 2 turns later, we can go ahead and take it down. Last up is Kingdra, and Ancient Power takes it to just below half. Water Pulse doesn't do much, and Kingdra rests, and we take it to half with Takedown. And it double teams, then we take it down. Alright, that's the last badge. By the way, why does Juan have a harem down here? I don't really pay attention too much, and it was something that I definitely didn't think of as a kid, but homie has nothing but women down here. This is like a dream scenario for Brock. Anyway, it's on to Victory Road, and it's time for us to ruin Wally's hopes and dreams. Wally starts with Altaria, and we open with Ancient Power to take it to a sliver, and it uses Dragon Dance. After that, Wally heals up, and we use Ancient Power again, taking Altaria back to red, and then using Surf to take it down. Rosalia is next, and we swap back to Ancient Power, taking it to red as it sets up Leech Seed. That's a pain. After that, it goes down, and we get a much-needed Omni Boost. After that, we still have 3 Pokemon, and Magneton could be a problem because Leech Seed, it's doing a pretty good chunk every turn. We swap to Surf for the Magneton, and we take it down with a crit that I think was needed. Delcatty is, well, it's pretty awful to be honest, so we just swap back to Ancient Power and take it down. Gardevoir is last, and we take it to yellow, and it just uses Future Sight, so we could take it down with a critical hit. So we could take it down with Takedown to win the battle. So we did some leveling, making sure to fight the trainers inside Victory Road. These are our stats right before the Elite Four begins, and our HP is pretty great. Our defense is incredibly tanky, and our attack is nothing to sneeze at. Our special and speed, well, yeah. It's there. Let's go ahead and see how things go against the first of the Elite Four. Sydney is the first of the Elite Four battles, and he starts with Mightyna, who is a pain with Sand Attack. Since Double Edge takes it to a little below half, it's able to retaliate with that. We still hit Double Edge and take it down. After that, Cacturn is next, and we use Double Edge, taking it below half. Cotton Spore lowers our speed. Then Needlearm hits hard, and we miss our next Double Edge, and then go down to another Needlearm. Let me try this a few times. A few tries later, we take Mightyna down with some Surfs, then with Cacturn, we actually one-shot it. Shift Read uses Double Team, and it also makes everything painful to use with Torment, but we managed to take it down without too much trouble after the attack boost from Swagger. Crawdaunt is a bit of a pain because we have to keep switching back and forth between 2 or 3 different moves to make sure Torment doesn't cause too much trouble. After that, there's only an Absol that we nail with a critical hit, and that's what lets us go ahead and move on to Phoebe. With Phoebe, her Dusclops does have pressure, and it likes to spam Protect when it can, so that makes this a pain. We open with Double Edge as it uses Protect, then swap over to Surf. The third turn is a 50-50 on if it'll go back to Protect, so we attempt Ancient Power, but it does Protect, but we can still take it out next turn. With her Bayonet, we take it down with a few Ancient Powers, and then with Dusclops, we have to use Surf. From there, she has 2 Pokemon left, and we have to basically rely on Surf now that Ancient Power PP is gone, but we are able to go ahead and take them out without too much trouble. But that is 2 members down. Glacia's next, and yeah, we're just gonna spam Ancient Power. We take the Celio to a Sliver as it sets up Hail, and we do some damage with Earthquake, then swap back to Ancient Power. Walrein is out, and we continue with the Onslaught. Tanking a Surf, and the Berry takes it out of healing range, so it goes down. Glalie is next, so we take it to 1 HP as Icy Wind connects. Crunch does a bit of damage as we take it down. Next, Glalie is out, and it goes down to a single Ancient Power, and we get the stat boost, swapping over to Double Edge. And with only 14 HP to spare due to multiple heal-ups and hail damage, we take it down. Had she had one more potion, we would have gone down due to the hail damage. But now is going to be probably the hardest of the Elite Four. It's time to fight Drake, and I have no idea how this is going to go without us having any type of ice move whatsoever. We can learn it, and it is in my bag if absolutely needed. However, our special attack isn't great, especially without Stab, so I've just been kind of keeping that in my back pocket, and I'll use it if absolutely needed. Shelgon is his first Pokemon, and we open with Ancient Power, forgetting it likes to Protect, and we hit it with the next turn, getting the boost. It protects again, and we swap over to Ancient Power, taking it out. Ancient Power honestly doesn't do much against Flygon, but Earthquake is doing a lot against us, but we take it down with a Surf next turn. Ancient Power against the Altaria is a one-shot, and with Kingdra, we take it to half, as Surf does solid damage, and then we take it down, getting a second boost. The Salamence, we use Double Edge for solid damage, and then Dragon Claw takes us out. This does take a dozen attempts, but with Shelgon, it's basically the same tactic, though this time it actually swaps out onto Double Edge instead of protecting like it has in the past. So the Flygon is actually almost a clean one-shot. Then we can take it out the next turn, and then he brings Shelgon back out, so we knock it out next turn. By now, we have 2 boosts, and we end up taking out the Altaria with 1 Ancient Power. We swap to Double Edge for the Kingdra, critting and one-shotting it, and then the Salamence goes down to a single Ancient Power, winning us the battle. I wasn't really expecting that, but I'm also not going to complain. Let's see if we can beat the champion. Wallace sends out Wailord, and we use Ancient Power, getting a stat boost, and Water Spout honestly doesn't do too much. We swap to Double Edge and take it down next turn. Gyarados is next, and it's back to Ancient Power, taking it to red as it sets up Dragon Dance. Wallace heals up, and we use Ancient Power, taking it back to red, and then we knock it out, getting another boost. Whiscash is next, so we swap over to Double Edge, taking it to yellow as it uses Amnesia, and then we can take it down. Ludicolo is out, and a Double Edge takes it to red, and Giga Drain does a lot, and it heals itself up at a healing range, so we can then take it out. Tentacruel is out, and Ancient Power does some solid damage, giving us another boost, and it misses Hydro Pump. Last is Milotic, and our attack is boosted to insane amounts as we use Double Edge, taking it down with a crit, winning the League Challenge. Alright, that was a lot of fun, and I hate to say it, but I just don't think I have time to fight Steven. Did some of y'all click off at that? I'm joking. We totally have time to fight Steven, because I'm curious myself. I am running out of time to record this, so we're only going to show some losing footage while I go over this part, and we're going to end up skipping to our final attempt. Honestly, just as I'm kind of showing here, the biggest issue that we have with his team is, and I am surprised by this, it's the Cradilly. The typing is a bit of a pain for us, and the fact that it can know Giga Drain is not helping us. We also have to make sure that we can take down the Skarmory in just 2 turns. More often than not, at least in the about 50 attempts that I did, it almost always uses Toxic, and for whatever reason, if I use it, it misses all the time. However, if they use it, it hits every time. We can equip a berry to avoid the first Toxic, but if the second one connects, our HP drains too fast for us to actually be able to take it out. So, at level 90, we start to get a little daring when Skarmory doesn't use Toxic right away, and waste a few turns with Ancient Power trying to get a boost. It does end up switching over to Aggron, and we barely ding it with Ancient Power, but we swap to Surf, knocking it out. Claydol is a one-shot, and then with Cradilly we use Ice Beam, and it only sets up Ingrain, so we can take it down. Metagross is out and we use Ancient Power, but it doesn't do much, so we take it to low yellow with Surf. The berry takes it out of healing range, and then we can take it out next turn. Then, the injured Skarmory is out, goes down to Surf, and then the final Pokemon of his is Armaldo, and it goes down to Surf to win us the battle and the run. Well, I hope you had fun with the run, and also thank you for the recommendation, Kovac. I hope I'm saying your name right. I can barely pronounce Pokemon names I've known for years, let alone random strangers that I've met online. As for next week, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing yet. I know that starting for next week's run, I'm gonna be messing with some ice types since we are in the middle of December, Christmas is coming up, etc. I kind of want to try to save Frostlass, though, for Christmas. If I'm lucky, I'm gonna try to release 2 videos that week. I want to try to release one on Christmas Day, and on the regular Thursday, but hopefully you guys will be able to forgive me if I do not manage that, because I am still working a full-time job. But if you want to join the Discord and watch some Christmas movies as the month goes on, the link will be down below. With any luck, I'll be doing some more streams here soon, but I gotta get this edited, because it goes up in about, well, at the time of recording this, about 20 hours. Yeah, I was not great with time management this week, but it's not my fault. It is, but it's not. Anyway, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.